on. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight for our additional meeting for the month of April. I'm gonna just go through and read the extensive agenda and then welcome. We have a guest here with us tonight. We are going to be going over the July 2024 Disability Pride Month events. I sent out a link, it was yesterday, to a bunch of different ideas. Hello, Harriet and Frank. Different ideas and suggestions and other things that people have done in the past to celebrate Disability Pride, but also ways to educate people about what Disability Pride is. And so your other assignment was to come with some ideas or thoughts. They don't need to be full blown out, this is how we'll do it, or where it would be, just some kind of suggestions and ideas. I want everybody to have a voice. There is no thought, suggestion, or idea that's too big or too small. You know me, I like to go big. I think once we put everything down, I will take the minutes tonight as we write everything down. We have a board. We can start to whittle it down and sort of figure out what we agree that we should focus on, and then sort of assemble groups, smaller groups, to start getting information on how we can execute what we decide to focus on. Does anyone have any questions? Parker, would you mind introducing yourself to the members that are here?
Sure, no problem. Yeah, my name is Parker. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm a reporting intern with the Somerville Times. So I'll be covering this meeting.
Thanks, Parker. And it's a public meeting, Parker. If you have any ideas, you're welcome to speak. Just raise your hand and make sure we give you the floor. Harriet, would you Harriet, would you mind jumping in and
Sure.
start the conversation?
Sure, by all means. Well, I'm very happy to do that, and I'm kind of excited. I have a couple of ideas. One is we have one book reading panel potentially, but we have two people, I think, I have to confirm with you if Michael Shaps is here, that would like to do this with us. Laura Boretsky has a book and would like to share it with us on her dealing with work and her disability. And she has seizures. And Michael Shaps, who is also an author of a children's book and another book title, I don't remember.
He's here.
Oh, hi, Michael. You can speak to that if you wish to at some point. And let me just put out another idea I have, which I've started some research on, is gathering up children's books and having some kind of event. Children's books about adults with disabilities, children with disabilities, ideally written by the person with a disability, like our wonderful Supreme Justice Sotomayor, who's written in a Spanish edition, an English edition is ask, please ask. In other words, ask about the disability that the person has, or ask any question, I think it's called. I don't remember. So those are two of my ideas. And I'd love to hear what the past list or the other list is and what other people are thinking. Is that sufficient, you think, to start us?
I think
Harriet.
that's a great start. Go ahead, Michael.
Oh, it's Michael.
Mike.
Yes, so I did email you back, and I would love to do that. I think the question that I had was, is it employment?
No,
employment?
not.
That was a different one.
No. It's about our lives, basically, right?
Perfect. Okay, because the book that I wrote, it's a middle grade book. That means it's for like junior high school-ish kids. And it's great. I can bring it, and I could definitely talk about my life because I'm also writing my autobiography, which I'm hoping to share. So maybe I can even give them a little taste of what I had written for my autobiography.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm happy to do it.
If I don't find a third person, I'll probably have to join and do the same thing. I'm unpublished memoir.
Can I ask, this is Holly, Mike, are you, accepting the offer to participate in the panel? And also to, consider doing a book reading on some of the books that you've written? Or are they two separate
Absolutely.
things?
Right,
So, yeah, on both?
looking at July 1st or July 29th. And both of those work for me, and I will make sure I leave them open. So whichever one you choose.
July 1st or July 29th?
Night, night.
July 1st or July 29th, those are the 2 days.
Yes, those are the
Perfect.
2 days that
Okay.
were sent to me. Yeah.
Okay, Mike, do you want to jump in next? Any other thoughts or ideas?
Sure. I was in touch with the communication department. I finally got to speak, email to Steve. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to have hopefully the first movie be Inside Out, about a little girl who has a lot of emotions. And I requested to see if I can just speak a few words because it is Disability Awareness Month and he's going to get back to me. I did write something up, very simple, and I sent it to him as a possibility. I did that as a citizen of Somerville. And if we'd like to do it as, to be able to say this is from the commission, we would have to vote on that, but that's where I'm at right now. So it looks like that's going to be able to go on.
And this is Harriet. I have a question, which I think we'd love to bring to Stephen, and also to if we find another movie as well. I mean, one movie, we could have two. Anyway,
So here's the thing, I will say, he said to me that they usually choose the movies themselves. He's willing to talk about making an exception for this one. So again, I'm not saying we shouldn't ask, but I know it's something that they take a lot of pride in and they kind of do it for themselves. I wasn't going to bring up next year to see if we could do something like this every year, at least not until this is proven to be something that would go over well. But that's what I would say, Harriet.
okay, one thing that I would like to check with him is if he can get an audio described version of it, because, or at least some, are you thinking about the ones that are held on the Seven Hills Park or an indoor showing?
No, this is for Summer Movie Fest. It's at a park. Holly, you seem to know which one it was. I didn't remember.
It's my park. It's my park. It's Seven Hills.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, I just wanted to back us up one step further back, excuse me. The Steve that you're talking about is not the Steve, it is not Steve White, Harriet. It is Steve from the city's communications department.
Okay.
And his last name is Roman.
I can't
Mike,
remember.
what is that?
I think I want to say Gavin. Does that sound right, Adrian? I can find it.
Not
I just-
Steve White. It is a different gentleman, Steve.
Yeah.
Just
I
wanted
just-
you to know it's a
Yeah.
different resource, and it's not Steve White
Yeah.
that would be working for this with, it's a different.
Yeah. And Harriet, I did want to say,
Steve
oh, I'm
DeCarlo,
sorry. Yeah, Steve DeCarlo.
but he's going to get back to me. So yeah.
Yeah. So Harriet, to your point about doing another movie, I know that the Department of Racial and Social Justice is trying to do some sort of film series. I think indoors, maybe with the libraries. It was being talked about late fall, but Stephen Fife hasn't gotten as far as he wanted with that. So that may be another opportunity because Stephen, RSJ Stephen, will be looking towards the three commissions for movie ideas and sort of organizing around showings and different movie titles as well.
Oh,
We
what?
did talk, yeah, we did talk about that at some point, I just can't.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, having a movie, having a book reading, two great, wonderful things in July. And I think we'll definitely put in the minutes, would you assume, Adrian, it would be like a summer movie type of a thing? August, September.
RSJ, that I don't know.
All right, well, we'll just put it on
You
the
check.
parking
Yeah,
list there, parking lot. Mike, any other suggestions you want to add at this point? Well, we can come back. I just wanted to give you the floor for a few more minutes.
So thank you. I did take notes. I was looking for it. I couldn't find my notes. So let somebody else go and then I can jump.
Absolutely. I'm literally going in the Brady Bunch order and I see Helen. Helen, do you have any suggestions you'd like to add at this time, or would you like me to come back to you?
Not at this moment, no.
Okay, thank you. Who would like to go next? I see Laurie. Ooh, yeah, sorry, her hand's up first. Laurie,
Yeah, I'm
let
Lori.
us know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, okay. So I've been disabled at least 50 years, but I haven't like focused on it a lot. So I feel like my thoughts will be a combination of very naive and very subtle. So I ask her forbearance for the naive. So
Laurie, that's called honest,
good. Thank you.
and we appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So first of all, I want to know this disability pride, is it a day or a month or a week or what?
1 month.
Oh, 1 month.
Well, we
Cool.
would say as advocates and allies, it's every month, but
Okay.
It's a national, I don't want to say holiday, it's a celebrated month.
because the anniversary of the ADA is in late July,
Got it.
so
Okay.
it's centered around that.
Right. So I was thinking to myself, disability pride. Oh, what's this pride? So like the best parallel I could think was gay pride. And really pride is sort of like a euphemism for shame, right? Like we're ashamed and we're trying to move it into pride. So that's what I was going from thinking of pride and gay pride. So I was thinking, what is it exactly that we want? So I thought one, visibility, like we are here, and we vote. 2, we want rights and no discrimination. 3, acceptance. 4, inclusion. 5, to be valued as humans. That's just what I just sort of wrote up. And then I was thinking, and if you're okay with my being honest, I'm going to be very, very honest. I think there's a cultural repulsion towards people with disabilities a lot. And I don't know, it's like sometimes when you see, and I'm sorry, Harriet, that I keep using the word see, I'm not quite sure how to, that people, walk away if you have disability, or you sort of like stare or you don't stare and all that weird crap. And I was thinking, like, what is this repulsion thing? And even I have it, right? And I was thinking, is it genetic? Like for reproductive purposes, you want someone who looks healthy. And so is that where it comes from? And then I was thinking cultural taboos about naming, don't name it, don't discuss it, don't point it out, pretend you're ignoring it. And so I was thinking, oh, that's an interesting whole thing that I don't know if Disability Pride Month is about undoing that, but that was one thing I was thinking of. So, Harriet, did you want
Yeah,
to?
I just wanted to say, what I would take for what do you call it? For an image is Take Back the Night.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
it's like honoring ourselves
Uh-huh.
as important players in our culture and society,
Right.
honoring ourselves.
Honoring ourselves.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that. Okay. So here's the things that honoring ourselves. So I was thinking different projects to address those different things, honoring inclusion, acceptance, rights, visibility, value as humans. So I was thinking an art show by people with disabilities, not about disability, but just like, oh, wow, gee, those people, they can be great artists too, you know. And then an art show and writing by people with disabilities about disability. So that's a slightly more brave step, like for people without disabilities to engage with that. Then I was thinking, oh, Gay Pride has a parade. Like, do we have a parade? And then I was thinking, well, there we get back into the triggering. There we get, you know, back into the, oh my God, look at that disabled person. Oh, gross. You know, so like, I'm sorry, I apologize for, you know, so there's this cultural, I don't know what it is, ambivalence or embarrassment or whatever, invisibility, isolation, whatever you want to call it. Okay, then I was thinking, be good to advertise advocacy groups. Like, I'm a wheelchair user and I'm a mental health user. So, you know, I belong to some groups that either are advocates or social groups, empowerment groups. And then I was thinking psychiatric disabilities. I have psychiatric disability, like I have severe PTSD. And that's a particular one, like people hide it. There's shame. We're in the closet. And I don't know how much it's changing now that people don't get help or they're scared to tell other people because they'll be rejected and, oh, you're weird, you know. So that's also like a thing to is like a reach forward, like reduce the stigma of psychiatric disability. Then I was thinking there could be a display of posters or whatever, you know, like a museum thingy, like photos. And I keep noticing, Harriet, I apologize. This is all like about visual stuff. And I apologize to all of you, but like, this is what I'm thinking. Like posters, like, look at our new swings in the new, you know, in the new park. So that sort of, you know, opens people's hearts like, oh, isn't that cool? We have new swings. And then sort of part of the museum posters thing, like, and what we still need, you know, photos of where, you know, places aren't wheelchair accessible or something. And then another sort of museum piece or wall piece would be illustrious Somerville people with disabilities, to sort of bring us out of the, oh, poor me, you know, oh, aren't they pathetic? Like, oh, wow, this one's a famous pianist and this one's a famous writer and this one's a famous God knows what, you know. So, okay, so those are my ideas. Thank you.
Thank you, Laurie. They're very honest, and I appreciate you sharing them, and I appreciate the way that you shared them. And I wrote down a lot of the words that you used, as well as some of the sort of activities or suggestions. And the one thing that clearly it's about showing the art side and the human side, and you know, writing and photography. I thought the photography piece was really interesting, but having some type of a show or an event featuring art and writings of people with disabilities. It'd be great if they were residents, would be even
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
I don't know if we've ever had, if there's a photographer that is disabled, identifies as being disabled and does photography, or does photography of disability, which that can mean a whole bunch of different things to a whole bunch of different people. But I like that photography piece very much. I like all of it. And the suggestion of the poster campaign, that's really cool too.
The what? I'm sorry, the what?
I called it the poster campaign, the what we still need.
Ah,
Forgive me if I'm paraphrasing, but the idea of, this is what we do next, you know, we're telling you about sort of where we are now and the things that we've done now. We're talking about art and reading and education and, celebrating what we are at right now, but looking at a campaign of what's the next thing that we want.
I wanted to add something.
Please do, Rashid.
I really agree with what Laurie has come up with. They're very nice ideas. I only want to supplement that in our course of doing these activities, we should also include, I'm suggesting if we could include, let's say maybe young people that are not with disabilities that would want to come and maybe present with us or other members of the community, because this one gives us another in-depth inclusion of knowing what other people think about us, or they are also coming part of us, because it's like every time when we do, let's say when we do art, it's our own art as people with disabilities. It's like we are presenting the information amongst our own selves. We are not breaking, let's say, the circle to include other people. So if there is another way we can include non-people with disabilities that are willing to work with us, there may not be so many, but even if you have like 5 or a given number, it can also work. It's my idea I wanted to add on.
Thank you, Rashid. I think that's great. I appreciate you reminding us of that. Laurie, did you have any other parts before I move?
No,
And again, this is just sort of the like, let's put everything on the wall with the green pen, a little hard to see, but it's on the wall. And then we'll come back and have more conversations. Rashid? Would you like to add some additional suggestions?
I don't think so.
Like in terms of what?
Just in general, did you have any other thoughts or ideas that you want to share of things to do in July? And again, you know, like a second movie that will be done after July, so there may be ideas that we talked around today that won't all fit in a month.
Yeah, I remember one time there was a time when like people were saying that not all people want sports. There are people who are saying that they would want to have something different from sport.
Oh, not everyone likes to go to a sporting event. Got it.
Yeah. There are people who say maybe, how about if we venture into music? How about if we venture into maybe a movie at AMC, at Assembly or any other place? And then they are looking at it in that way. And then there are also people who are saying, okay, sports, we've had enough maybe of Celtic basketball and baseball at Fenway. Why can't we try watching maybe the Patriots at Gillette, things like that.
Thank you.
And lastly, on the issue of art, I would like us to have like maybe like Laurie had put it, that we need to have like come up with or generate like themes that can run, and then with these themes we can invite artists, and then maybe at maybe towards the end of a given period of time we can do a presentation of what people have come up with. For example, we come up with maybe something like maybe an artistic, maybe a show at the museum, showing like the different perspective of life and art and people with disability or inclusion, things like that.
Great ideas.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and then
Martina.
lastly, to also to find ways of how every time we come up with maybe an activity, we look around for partners that are within us that we can work with. For example, if it's art, how best can we tap into the available resources with the Somerville Art Council? How can we be able to tap into the available resources at the Media Council? Things like that. We may have like our specific project, but find ways of how to network with those people to provide us with the technical know-how and the technical approach, and maybe at times provide us with people that we can work with. It will be another way of also promoting inclusion, and then also making other professionals understand us. That's what I would want to add on.
Thank you, Rashida.
Yeah.
Helen, I saw your hand was up. Give me just 1 second. Oh, no, go ahead, Helen. Go ahead, Helen. The floor is yours.
Said the floor is yours, ma'am.
What?
Go, it's your turn, ma'am. I'm telling you to go.
Hi, Helen.
Yeah, the transcript is a little slow. So sometimes it takes me a minute to catch up. And I'm not sure that I can phrase this correctly, but I think an important part of the month would be publicity. And since Parker is there, he might be in a good position to give us some publicity, so that people know what is going on. And one of the things that, because I'm very impressed by a couple of things that have been done for children. I guess it's two things I'd like to express. One is the new swings for the playgrounds. Now, how many people really know about that?
Mm-hmm.
And the other is the scholarships. I guess that the public school children know about them. I assume they would be available to children in charter schools.
Charter.
Those are just a couple of the things that, as I'm listening here, I would like to see happen during the month. And it wouldn't have to be just Parker, just Somerville Times. There are a couple of other local papers that I guess the commission would have to reach out to so that they could pass the information along.
Hey, Helen, would you like to be interviewed by Parker? Hey, Parker, would you like to interview Helen at another time, or maybe other members of the commission? We could talk about that tomorrow, but if that's something you're interested in talking about, Parker, I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
That'll be fine with me.
Cool. I think we could all do a different type of an interview. Sheila and then Ingrid.
Yeah, I think a lot of the themes, so talking about sort of interrelating, and find it very interesting, and I think one of the most important things, and I think Laura touched on it, is visibility. To get out there and I think about things that already happened, and some of them in the month of July that we could take part in. One of them is Art Beat. So Art Beat, and it may be too late to do that this year, but we could give it a try and see if we had, say, a table at Art Beat, and whether it was to show artwork, you know, by disabled individuals, or we had some kind of art project that people could come and do that related to somehow to disabilities. It's an event that's already there, but we could take part in it. And I think long-term, we should start doing that at a lot of civic events, just to have a visibility there and to let people know what we are and what we do. And to know that there's resources, you know, through the commission for people. So that is something we can think about. Summer Streets. I don't think there's one scheduled in July, but that's another place where, you know, you get a lot of community involvement where we could have some kind of display or something that just lets people know about what we're doing. Another thing that I think is a relatively easy thing to do is, we talked a lot about books and all, but if we ask the library to display for the month of July, books and videos that relate to disabled individuals, the stories or authors, and they do that, you know, for other months or holidays and things where they display certain books and videos that would apply. So that would just put it out there in the 3 libraries, and just as people come in, they would start to relate, and they could have something, and we could do it that just related to Disability Awareness Month. And I think we have to just get out there. I think we have to get out there at a lot of the events that happen, whether it's July or even after that. But certainly those are some things. The other things I thought about, because it's July, it's difficult to, because the schools aren't in session. I think there's a lot of things we could do in the schools with children and have programs or visits to the school to try to educate students at their level to issues that a disability, you know, and when I read through all the scholarships, you know, I thought there's a lot of kids here talking about because they did something in school, it made them want to go into some kind of field that related to disabilities. So the more we inform children about what the needs are out there for people as they become adults and professionals to, you know, assist with people with disabilities, I think it's, you know, it's a great educational piece. Unfortunately, July, kids aren't in session, but maybe we could work on something during the school year that would bring the attention to the kids in school. So I think visibility is really important the more we get out there, and I know it's a lot to attend a lot of these events, but maybe we can find a way to be able to spread it all out and take part.
Great
That's it.
ideas. Thank you.
That's all. I'm sorry?
I said, excellent ideas. I'm all about panels in the school and I've done them. Thanks.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, just for logistics, to what Sheila said, Art Beat is scheduled for Saturday, July 13th.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
For a community organization, which this I think would be considered one, to apply for a booth, which would essentially be a table. That application deadline is Monday, June 3rd.
Thank you for that.
And there is a possibility that RSJ might be there. I don't know if there are plans. So I'll check with Stephen and our community engagement specialist
That'd be great,
tomorrow.
because
Then they could apply for like 2 booths and that would just save some.
Less paper.
Yeah.
I love less paper. One other thing, I think we did talk about this already, was raising the disability pride flag. Is that still in the works? Okay.
Yes, so really what that is choosing a date. Flag raisings are a pretty easy lift because they don't last long. I mean, it's we'll say give or take, it's a 20-minute event, maybe 30 minutes. Dates are important. We can order the flag. If you would like the mayor to speak, that's sort of something I would have to work out, and that depends on her schedule.
I thought that was the suggestion from the mayor's office, was that she would speak, and then we would invite another person and someone known in the community, and then have a member of the commission talk. I only say it because I think that was a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. That entirely depends on her schedule. So I can certainly check with exec admin tomorrow about sort of her July calendar, which just to see if there are some dates better than others. Flag raisings tend to be pretty well attended during a weekday. Most of them happen sort of a late afternoon-ish, or sometimes in the middle of the day. Late afternoon guarantees that people can park in City Hall and have access. So pretty easy. So most of the time what you see is mayor, if she's available, somebody from the commission, maybe a city councilor, if that's something you all want to investigate. I know that there are several city councilors that are very interested in this commission's work. And then if the commission or somebody else from the commission wants to identify either another community member who's pretty well known, or there's, as Holly will say, there's a lot of in-state pretty well-known advocates that do speaking engagements and things.
Yeah, we have one on our commission. Harriet,
Alright,
yes.
so whatever you would like. So I will check about the mayor's schedule and then maybe go from there.
That'd be great. Ingrid, been wonderfully patient, thank you. Can
Yeah.
you give us some ideas?
Okay, so, pardon me, Ingrid here. We've been talking about the library, of course, and I, last vacation week, went with my kids and met up with Allison, who is in charge of the children's library at the West Branch. I'd been hearing about her, just what a brilliant sort of legend she was from lots of other moms and people in the community. And she is very interested in doing an event with us for Disability Pride. They have somebody coming who is potentially going to be doing music, and she was wondering if she could put it into an event with also Disability Pride and maybe even something outside. So the whole impetus for even asking at the West Library was because a woman who leads a parent group, the Somerville Family Learning Collaborative, who's a child psychologist, is retiring, and she has a ton of amazing books about disability that have all been really well vetted. You know, nothing that Amazon just makes you buy if you go right to the page. Lots of really thoughtful, interesting books about all sorts of things, from physical disabilities to dyslexia, all sorts of stuff. So she donated her books to them, and they've selected them, and they're gonna have them cataloged. So it'd actually be a great event to have a little bit of a party for Disability Pride to roll out that resource for parents. Yeah, just to know, because I mean, my son is autistic, and when he was diagnosed, I really felt at the mercy of Amazon trying to find books about it. And there's a lot of garbage. So it's kind of great to have already books that parents have read and found useful, to sort of separate the wheat from the chaff that are going to be in the library and having an event to celebrate it. So I'm in talks with Allison, and she is getting back to me about a Pride event at the West Branch Library.
Did she say, Ingrid, when that, if they had a time or date tied down for this, the rollout of this,
No, she's sort of in the we're going to keep in touch about it phase, but I will poke her again in the coming week
okay, great.
or coming couple of weeks
Wonderful.
to see where we're at.
Put an X on that day in on calendar, because it sounds like we can join that event, which would be a much easier lift than having to build out an event where it's already.
Yes.
It would be a great thing for us to join and help.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, another thing I was thinking of, I love the idea that somebody said of photography in particular, or an art show. I think photography that really kind of shows disability could be really profound, because there's a great history of disability representation in art, whether people knew people were disabled in the art or not. AKA Christina's World by Andrew Wyatt is a painting of a disabled woman. It's one of the most famous paintings in the world. And I don't even think people know that. So I'm very inspired by the idea of an art show, photography in particular, or whatever people want to do responding to disabilities. And of course, that's no help. That's no details whatsoever. Another thing I was thinking, not to bring up sports again, was that I'm realizing that the Olympics are this summer. And that if they're the Olympics, that means the Paralympics are happening. And I know not everyone's into sports, but whether you're into sports or not, those athletes are super inspiring, and their stories are unbelievable, especially some of these people from other countries. So that could be something also. I'm not sure if that would July. I mean, I think the Able Olympics are in July, so maybe they would be after that, but it's something to think about as far as like a watch party, or I don't know, some sort of event celebrating some of those people or athletes, or I don't know, or just drawing attention to it. Because considering how much space the Olympics takes up, there's no reason the Paralympics shouldn't. I've been reading my son actually a book about a Paralympic racer born with spinal bifida who overcame all these odds. And it's just a totally inspiring, amazing story. And we're not into racing necessarily, but it crosses borders, which is very important.
The
Another
story
thing I was.
is the important part, right?
What?
The story of what they're achieving.
Yeah, this woman, Tatiana McFadden,
It's
who was like
wonderful.
born in Russia and adopted, and yeah, it's unbelievable. And my
Thank
son is
you.
actually selected it the last couple nights. Because it's inspiring and awesome. Yeah.
What was the date again?
Paralympic Games are Wednesday, August 28th, 2024 through
Oh, so they're
Sunday,
later.
September 8th, 2024.
Okay, I just didn't want to forget that little piece. So August to September, still a fantastic idea that we can do outside of Disability Pride Month. I love the idea of a watch party.
Right? Something. I don't know. Something we can definitely think about. I think the movie idea is excellent too. And a really good way to show different kinds of disability, for sure. Another thing I was thinking about, and then I started thinking really big ideas, was just that I had the idea of somehow engaging kids to make disability pride friendship bracelets, like a la Taylor Swift style, but or whatever style people want, but with beads and with just the colors of the disability pride flag. And then little sayings like disability visibility or disability pride or whatever people want to write, but finding some way. I was even thinking like of getting in touch with the art teachers in the school and seeing if we can have kits or I don't know, get the kids making bracelets, trading bracelets, wearing bracelets, talking about what it means and what it is. Because I also think that so many people don't even really know. I sent my mom a picture of the disability pride flag and she had never seen it before and had no idea what it was. So I just think it would be also even just pumping up to pride, just getting a little bit of noise happening. Another thing I said about the flag raising or any of these events would be disability pride merch, like cool merch. Like buttons or bracelets or little flags or anything like that. Yeah.
Things that we would be able to, if we were at an event or hosting an event, things that could be there for people to take.
Yeah, and things that explaining what the colors in the flag mean, and I don't know, even if it's just like coloring pages in the like colors and what paint or markers or whatever, just like having a spot for kids to sit and play or create art, just simple things to just be, yeah, to make disability visible and the pride and the fight and all that. Yeah.
What, you just said something that really resonated with me. Just explain what the colors on the disability flag mean. Can anyone pull that up? What they are?
Yes, well, yeah, there's one. We had it recently.
Yeah, I have it here.
Okay,
You might
perfect.
be able to us just for a second.
I have it on a tiny pin and I can't read it. Otherwise I'd have to look it up, but yeah, read it.
Barely see her holding a pen. Pin.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, red is for physical disabilities, gold is for neurodivergence, white is for invisible and undiagnosed disabilities, blue is for psychiatric disabilities, and green is for sensory disabilities.
And they say that the black, because usually it's on a black background, that black is for like the lives have been lost due to like ignorance or just, yeah, misunderstanding, what have you, which is powerful too, for sure.
Ingrid, this is Harriet. I just wanted to have you plug one thing when you talk to Allison. I have
Yes.
and can bring forward probably other possibilities. For a display of books, there are Braille and print, they're books that were printed, but they have clear Braille sheets in them. So like, for example, a blind parent could read to their child, or a sighted parent could introduce the child to what is Braille, like that.
Absolutely. That's
Just
outstanding.
Like
Absolutely.
that. Something like that would be handy. Again, it's just like, there are not that many blind people. And fortunately, I like to say it's because there's more preventive medicine, but everybody gets old and can have macular degeneration. And it's just kind of like, that's a really good one. Maybe on the pride flag, we should also have something representing being old, old and disabled.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for reading that, Laurie. I think that was really powerful. And when Laurie talked about a poster campaign, sort of the what we still need, and looking at if you were to take the flag without making the poster be the entire flag, but you use what each of those colors represented. Maybe that can sort of drive some of the different things that we're doing to make sure we're covering not just different ideas, different groups, but all of the different colors that are represented in the flag.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I love the bracelet pieces also and the swag. Anything else to add to the green board, Ms. Ingrid?
I don't think so. No, I think that's everything for now.
This is Harriet, and I love a bracelet idea too. I think that's
Isn't it
great.
cute? I just think it would be timely and fun, and yeah, I just want to get the kids involved, and like, I just want to, yeah, I just want the next generation to not be like the last one as far as all this stuff is concerned. And if we can unravel some of the shame in advance or whatever, that's outstanding. That's great. That's the goal. So let's do it.
Mike, do you have a question before I give Nick the floor?
No, I don't have a question, but if it's
Oh,
Nick's
you
turn.
want it? No, if it's part of the conversation, please keep going.
Well, no, I had found my list and I actually got an email from Steve. And he said they cannot do Inside Out because their supplier doesn't have it. So I emailed him back and I thanked him and I said, could you find out if they have one that features a person with a disability? And so I just sent that and hopefully he'll get back to me on that. But if I could just quickly add, I did like
absolutely.
in my list, I had the idea of a disability fair, and I think Lori mentioned that, where, you know, different organizations from Somerville can come. You know, and again, it might even be something to put with the art fair, you know, to kind of have a double thing there. But I had the idea to get in touch with Best Buddies. I believe there's a chapter in Somerville High School, and that's where they have peers for people with who are, you know, neurodiverse, and you know, to see if maybe we could do something with the teens, something for, you know, teenagers or younger kids, and to have them help out, I think would be a great thing. So those were my thoughts. Are you okay, Harriet?
Oh, yeah. I'm fine. I'm just listening and being very moved by how many possibilities we've already laid out. It's impressive.
I agree, Harriet. Thanks, Mike, for that additional piece. And I'm sure that if Steve DiCarlo isn't able to come up with a different movie, maybe one of us, sorry, lemonade. Maybe one of us could send you a couple of suggestions. Or maybe if the vendor has a list that we could look at.
Would it be something we could do if we had our own movie at a library or some other place where we just did our own movie? And
There we go. That's
you
on the
don't have to go
list.
through them, you know?
I think that's great.
But absolutely, if it works out with Steve, great, but if not, let's figure out some way to do it anyway.
I'm with you.
I think that's gonna be good.
Yes. This is Harriet. Frank and I unfortunately have to leave at 7 from a pre-commitment in another meeting. But this has been really great, and I can't wait to read the transcript or have discussions with any of you afterwards as to the rest of this meeting. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you both.
Bye.
Do we have a quorum if Harriet leaves, or we still have a quorum?
We do. Bye, Frank. I'm still breathing.
Ingrid here. Should we start making, keeping a track of various disabled movies? Just to, I'll have a list, because I can think of a couple, but I'm like, if I could focus, I could probably think of like 20, but yeah.
That are vetted.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, Coda won the Oscar a few years ago, and that's about children of deaf adults. Like, that was just a few years ago. That was amazing movie, totally about disability.
Nick, would you like to share some ideas? Or add some comments to some of the things that we've talked about?
Oh, hello. Sure. One, I do like the bracelet idea. Kids like bracelets, and I would like to wear a bracelet made by my kid. And speaking of my kid, and sports, to bring it back to sports, Gus loves baseball, and I forget if it was Helen or who told me about Challenger Baseball, which is a division of Little League for kids with disabilities. But I guess there used to be a Challenger League in Melrose, but now there's this not a Challenger League.
So there's one in Malden.
I couldn't find that either. I don't know if it still exists.
We can connect you with that, but were you thinking maybe there should be one in Somerville?
I was. Because I
We
couldn't
can do-
find Malden, and whoever told me to call so-and-so in Melrose was like, no, we don't do that anymore either. And I was like, well, I guess this might be an opportunity to see if kids want to play baseball.
So all in for that. Ingrid, you wanna share or? Excuse me.
So the Challengers League, we actually just got signed up for it. It's in Malden.
So it does exist. Okay.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
It starts this week. Holly's involved with her husband, so I kind of learned about it through her. But yeah, it's in Malden, and it's free through donations, and the kids bat till they hit. And yeah, it's starting this Sunday. So
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
I had to do my homework again. But that was my my thought at the moment.
But if there was one in Somerville, that would be awesome. Of course. Yeah.
So to have one in Somerville, I think we have to have someone who's already in Little League. Either set it up. I'm not sure. My involvement was originally as a parent, and now it's as a sort of not like a board member, but someone who helps with the kids play and fundraising and different events. But I don't manage sort of the paperwork, because this is an official league that's part of Little League Baseball. It's a sanctioned league. And it was in the back of my mind that, boy, wouldn't it be cool if we had one in Somerville? Boy, I wish there was someone else who could start that idea. It would help. But we just need to connect ourselves with someone in Little League. I don't know if anyone has anyone they can reach out to, but I will definitely send you the information, Nick, about how to register for this coming Sunday.
I know someone sent me information before, but whatever trail I went down led me to Melrose and a big X.
I think I might have talked about it a long time ago with you, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
But they have room for little kids. We love little kids. We have lots of, when I say older kids, we have some persons who've been playing in their late 30s, early 40s.
Oh wow.
They're still appropriately aged to play with people who are 15, 10, 20 years younger than them. It's an amazing Sunday. They play in two groups. They have the smaller kids play. It's at 4 o'clock, and then the next older group plays starting at 5. Everybody has a one-on-one buddy. We've had kids that needed one child and 2 buddies, depending on what they needed. Somebody helps them bat, somebody runs with them, someone encourages them during the game, talks to them, shows them what's going on, helps them feel the balls. We play until everybody hits, and everything is modified to whatever the child needs. And the parents get to sit and clap, which is, I think, something that parents enjoy as much, to just sit and be part of watching and seeing their kids do this stuff on their own.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But it's amazing. I think it's been 17 years we've been a part of it.
All right, well, sign me up.
The baseball bracelets, anything else?
None at the moment, no.
What about on the literary side? What about, sort of campaigns or posters or, we had talked about the media center and maybe doing like, a series of people talking about different subjects around disability. And then having them recorded and they could be played during Disability Pride Month.
Where?
So the Somerville Media Center would record them, they'd go on, is it Gov or City TV?
I don't know. Do you know the numbers for that? Actually don't know how many viewers that gets or anything.
Any idea, Adrian? No?
I think if you reach out to Somerville Media Center, they would certainly maybe have some data on that. City TV is not only for so City TV is essentially, I don't know, the term from my generation, public access TV, for the city. So, meetings get streamed to that YouTube channel, sometimes on the TV channel, although I think that's pretty rare. And then there's many community members that have programming that is taped at the Somerville Media Center and is,
I do
put
not
out,
know.
so-
I don't know if I have that. I must have it, but I don't know what channel it is. I gotta check it out.
You can do Gov, from the city's website, you can get to Gov TV and, Ed TV.
Okay.
So the suggestion is more around if there are people who would like to, talk or read something or, be interviewed, using the media resources, and they can sort of be like public service announcements, like a short 5-minute or 10-minute something. We could read books by authors with disabilities, or we could, the link that I sent had a lot of information historically about disability pride and about disability in a broader sense. There was a lot of interesting stories that I was reading when I was going through those links. So I'm only calling it out, Nick, because of your trade and your skills. And I'm always looking at you to.
Sure.
Either way.
I would, yeah, my only question, I would love to know if there's an audience, because I wouldn't want to put something together if there wasn't an audience. And then, but I guess if it's on YouTube, these could be films or clips that could be posted at any time. They wouldn't have to be like live,
Okay.
correct?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of tying the media center to any opportunities where we could have certain topics that we could talk about during Pride Month. And maybe it's, clearly it would go on beyond that if we had a way to outreach. And we talk a lot about having a way to meet, to share information or talk about updates or events. Maybe a YouTube channel in a sense is a way to do that.
Yeah.
Do we have
Or
an
if
Instagram
there's
page?
an event, it's like a speaker or something, but I think Ingrid has a suggestion.
Oh, yeah.
But-
No, I was just gonna say, do we have an Instagram page or? I mean, because I'm like,
Wayne,
we're talking about little films for YouTube, and I'm like, can we have like cool disability pride reels or something instead? Because I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, how many people watch? I mean, I don't know.
So you all have a Facebook page, so any pages for commissions start out of main comms, so the main comms for the city, because they're maintained, any social media has to be maintained by city staff. So there is a Facebook page for the Commission for Persons with Disabilities. I do know that RSJ's PIO officer, Hawken, Would eventually like to get an Instagram for RSJ, which could subsequently turn into Instagrams for the 3 commissions that are in RSJ. But that's something I can definitely ask about.
I thought there was only an RSJ Facebook.
No, you all have a Facebook.
You do. Is that what it's called? The commit.
It should be the Somerville. let me see.
Well, because I'm thinking about what Harriet said too, about like, how do we advertise our swings? Like, you know, just more visibility with what we do and what we achieve for, yeah, I don't know.
People can't reach us. That's really been an issue.
Excuse me, I've been raising my hand for a while. Is that not the right thing? Should I just be jumping in?
Sorry, Lori, I will, let's just finish up this little piece and I will give you the floor. I apologize. It's very hard for me to see from there.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Do you? I only thought there was an RSJ Facebook page, so if in the Somerville Commission's Facebook page, can we contribute to that?
You can, it would just be sent to me and then I would post it.
Okay, and then the same with the email address.
So email address is still ADA. I haven't gotten an update. I know Hawkins looking to see if one can come, but right now the practice is that it just comes to ADA because right now boards and commissions do not have individual emails. They go to staff liaisons.
But we could basically have scpd@gmail.com.
Right, so that would never be posted to the city website because it's not a city email.
No, absolutely, but if we had our own. Or our own, YouTube channel or other social media. That
So
we-
anything like that would have to be something Hawken would have to try to facilitate for you. Because city staff has to be involved in any commission communications piece.
But aren't we residents?
You are residents, but you also represent the city because you are considered special municipal employees as being appointed by the commission. So I can see if Hawken can join our check-in next week and that can be the topic, since I think we're pretty good somewhat with the baseball game that's been dominating the law.
Okay, Laurie, I apologize. He's,
No problem.
jumping the chair. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. Someone who said, movies, everyone start thinking up movies, about disability. So it's also you can just go to Wikipedia and go to, movies, and then at the bottom, they'll list movies with people regarding disabilities, and they'll list it out for you. So we don't have to do it in our heads.
Cool, I like that. Deborah, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. I would definitely put in a vote for Crip Camp.
Cool. Ingrid, are you gonna be the maintainer of the list somewhere?
Of the movie list?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Cool.
What was this? I'm sorry.
Crip Camp.
Okay.
I think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
I don't know if you're a Google Drive kind of person, or you have a Google Sheet. Or I can make one, we can share it, and we can add lists of movies to it.
Yeah. Knowing it's on Wikipedia, oh geez. The Wikipedia piece is huge, knowing that it's just on there, so that's great.
And the same with books, it would be nice if we had a place where we're collecting names of books. Deborah, are there any other suggestions or ideas that you wanna throw out there? We talked a lot about,
Another movie I had brought up in the past was Sound of Metal.
Oh yeah, Sound of Metal is awesome.
What's that one about?
That's about a heavy metal drummer who loses
Great.
his hearing.
It's great.
Oh.
Can I
Nice.
say something?
Yes, please, go right ahead, Muji.
Sorry?
Yes, please, go ahead.
I also wanted to look out for maybe movies of personalities. Let's say maybe are they like biographies, like for example, I would love to see maybe the biography if there is any kind, like for example, of President Roosevelt.
FDR.
Yeah, if we can have also a movie of that kind, if like maybe a biography or something about President Roosevelt, who was a polio survivor and a wheelchair user.
Oh, we created.
Yeah, and then even other personalities that have had disabilities, but maybe people have not known that they were people with disabilities, because it will give like maybe some hope and also another way of awakening our people that they can do it.
Mhm.
And lastly, you know that the movie like the camp movie, is it the Camp Creek Camp? A lot of us have seen it, though it doesn't mean that all people have seen it. But we should also look at like maybe we may come up. My fear is that we may come up with a movie and then almost everyone has seen it. I just want you to think about it. I'm not saying that we should, because like the first few days I came here, like the first month, the second month, the first movie I saw was that one. And I've seen it like 4 times myself from different people.
I have not seen that one.
Okay. Yeah.
There are a lot of great movies, a lot of great stories out there.
Yeah.
The more that we share.
Holly, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, man.
I know we're a team, I know we're a group, but I have been working on this for 2 months, and in my mind, and this is very hard for me to, because I usually don't speak up like this, but it kind of would have been nice if you had asked me to kind of keep the list. Just because
Oh,
I've
I'm
been
sorry.
Nope, just because I've been working so hard on it, but we are a team. I love Ingrid. I love Ingrid, but I needed to say it. I needed to say
Okay.
that it was important for me because I really have been working on this for like 2 months. So anyway, there you go.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. And I also really appreciate the time that you've been putting into that. And I think you should be the owner of the list, or at least.
Yeah.
I'm not the owner of anything. I just needed to say it for my own mental health.
Okay, but can I pass you the list pen, and will you accept this pen and work on that list? And you will.
I'm happy to do this with Ingrid. I'm
Okay.
happy.
Yeah, you got. Thank you.
But I'm just,
Yeah, I would
Thank
love if it was like
Speaking up.
collective suggestions from everybody, but yes, this is your, yes, absolutely.
This isn't mine. It isn't mine. I just needed to say it. I just needed to say it.
No, I'm glad you did. I'm really glad you did.
Thank you very much. I haven't gone yet. I think recruitment would be a really good opportunity during the month to try to recruit people to come to meetings, to participate in events and give us more ideas. You don't have to be a member of the commission to come to a meeting. And I think, you know, the broader we are and the more people that give us suggestions, the more we can do for the community. And I think that if we can encourage people to consider becoming associate commissioners, that would give us more voices and more hands to help. So I don't know where we would intersect sort of recruitment. Maybe there's something that we have, that's a QR code that when people scan it, they can get some information about us, or how to become a member. I see a couple of hands jumped up, Nick.
Yeah, this is actually a question about eminent domain. Like sometimes I'm driving around and I see like the billboard on McGrath that's just like old Billy Toro signs. Is Somerville allowed to like use that since it's not really being used and advertise something?
I don't know. You mean like physically large scale billboard? Like paper billboard?
Yeah, I mean the billboard's sitting there advertising someone who ran two. Well, I guess he ran this time. But yeah, it gets passed thousands of times a day. It might be a useful place to put up a SCPD website or something.
Cool, okay, I like that.
Or we can just guerrilla tactics it, and I'll go up there with a bucket of paint.
You never said that.
No, 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 no.
Parker? Rashid, I saw you next, and then Deborah.
Yeah, I had an additional idea
Sure.
about partnerships. I've always seen Home Depot celebrating various like themes or monthly themes or seasonal themes like disability, the gay pride, and the rest. Is there a way we can be able to partner with Home Depot Somerville?
But explain to me what the partnership would do for us.
Because Home Depot is one of the biggest employers of people with disabilities. For example, when I was at Home Depot Somerville, we were like quite a number of people with disabilities in there. And even when I worked with the one at South Bay, I thought it could be one other way of mobilizing more people to come on board. And then also maybe working with them. I think they can be able to provide resources in any way that we may need it.
I think that's a great idea. Any other corporate suggestions or partnerships? I wish we had, well, I mean, we have lots of large philanthropic organizations in the state, probably even in the city. I've got it on the board and I will keep it on the list. We'll see what we can, what we wanna, how to approach them and what you think would be a good idea to bring to them. Deborah?
This is something that I brought up to you privately, Holly, but I would love to do a mass mailing to the city with a QR code to our survey that we did, because it's really hard for people to find our webpage, and I just don't think we're getting the penetrance of how many people there are related to having people they're related to with disabilities. And I would love to have that data about people's priorities to guide us in our work. And I think July would be the perfect time to do that.
I think that's great. Let me just write that one down. Are you suggesting that we send out something similar that went out the first time, but put it in the mail? Or are you suggesting we ask different questions that are more towards what the commission would be looking for?
Yes, I think we should do different questions for what the commission can do to help, and I'd be happy to work on that.
that would be probably a working with Hawken type of a project?
Not necessarily, we would have to bring in our analyst Liz. Because there is a design sort of model for surveys, depending on what you want the outcome to be. It's data science, which is what Liz does. And then from my understanding, you would all probably have to get folks from Somerset to review it as well before it goes out, because that's generally the standard practice. So they make sure, again, that you are getting the data that you want to use. Oh, my battery's running. It's not good. And so we can talk about it, but I will check Liz's schedule over the next couple of weeks.
But we could still talk as a group about what types of questions we might ask or what types of information we might need. Do you need me to turn on my laptop and kind of run and log? Okay, we're gonna go to a 2.5-minute break. And we'll be right back with you all, hopefully. Or did you just want to make me go?
Lori,
Yeah.
you did a great job with your presentation.
Oh, thank you. What particular did you like about it?
Everything. I thought you were very passionate about it, and I appreciated your ideas, and I liked everything you said. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Welcome. And Ingrid, since you're on, I was thinking of starting up, maybe we could just do a Google page and just keep putting stuff on, and we can share it and everyone can just put things on. I'll try and set it up where I do categories.
I just want to be, I just want us to like all kind of be mindful about it. Cause also there's things like, like our seed being like, I've seen that 5 times. And then there's things like, when you say autism, people are like, oh, like Rain Man. Like, well,
right.
Yeah, but no, but yeah, that was like the only autistic person everyone knew for so long.
Yeah.
It's like,
No,
well, no,
totally.
it's not really like they can count matches when you drop them. It's not really like that for everybody.
Totally with you. I'm
I
absolutely
know.
with
Yeah, so some movies that are a little bit more insightful than just like,
yeah.
scientific anomalies.
I'm concentrating more on movies for kids, because I really want kids, as you're saying, to really understand these things.
And to be allies.
Exactly. And to feel comfortable to ask if they have questions,
Yeah.
I mean, do you mind sharing your email? Is that something I don't know if we're allowed to, but I mean, so I can share my Google Doc with you? Okay, what is it?
It's my name, Ingrid. And then my maiden name, SCHWAMB @gmail.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you.
That tonight, sure. How old's your son?
I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And which one has autism? Which one's a child with autism?
The 8-year-old does. Yeah.
Is he doing okay in school?
He's doing good. He's doing better. He's doing much better. He's doing really well. He had a hard time a little bit, but also I had just gotten divorced when he started kindergarten. So that was.
And and that's the exact age. I mean, he went to kindergarten during the pandemic, or he didn't go. And for kids with autism, that pandemic was.
I mean, we did Zoom preschool for a year. Which was, and like a lot of other kids weren't even doing it. Someday we were like one of like 4 kids on Zoom, and there was one little girl who was always kind of sitting and doing it, but everybody else was kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was just kind of like, I don't know, it's school, it's the routine, we're just gonna do it anyway. But like, he needed socialization because he had social delays and speech delays. So
absolutely.
And then the pandemic ended and his parents got divorced, and it was like, go to school. was really hard.
I hear you. Yeah,
I'm so
very
sorry.
hard. Thank you
He's
for
doing
sharing.
much better
with me.
now.
I'm glad to hear.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, if you ever need any support, I don't know if you know I'm a school psychologist. I don't know if you know that.
I did. Yeah. In Cambridge, right?
No, I'm in Waltham now.
Oh, nice.
But
Okay.
if you ever need anything, let me know.
Okay, I will. Thank you for that.
Welcome.
Oh, I think I'm in.
No, you need to sign into Zoom. You just joined from a browser.
Okay. We have too many cameras started already.
the video on my computer. Yeah. Can you all hear us?
Oh, wait. no.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear.
All right, so we'll just do this.
There you go.
No else.
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, thank you for that commercial break. We are all back.
Need a better battery.
Okay. And we were talking about. Who was speaking last? Mike and Ingrid, yes. We had to move things to my laptop. And we are,
Yeah. I don't know if we can do this.
beautiful piece of art. How
That is
funny is
nice.
that? It turns into.
Okay. So
We are making it happen here, everybody.
full screen. There we go. Okay.
Okay. So I have a very long list of ideas and suggestions and projects. I think we were talking about the mailer, getting more information from people with disabilities, getting some more feedback about things that the commission could be working on or they would like to see. And I know that became we'll put that on the list, and then that we'll have to figure out how to, with the help of Adrian and the city's teams that will work on that, figure out how we can get information in. Was that the last piece that we were talking about before our owl had a little problem?
I think so.
Okay, so oops. There we go. Do we have any hands raised? No. Chat. No, that's everything.
So you have a little less than 30 minutes.
Okay, so we have about 20 minutes or so to either go through and sort of slim this down, or what I'd really like to do is sort of have people sort of break into sort of groups on different topics, or on a topic that's their own, who can help them do some research towards it. Trying to think what the best way is to break that in. So, Mike, if I were to start with you by example, looking at movies, would you like another person to help you with that project, or are you in a good place and you'll just keep moving it forward? I don't want to assume you need help.
No, that's fine. I mean, if it's gonna be working with Steve, I think it's gonna kind of be done, because they'll do it all. But
Okay,
if it isn't, then we're gonna have to figure out something else. And so so again, I don't mean to volunteer somebody, but Ingrid, would you want to work on that with me? Okay, so Ingrid and I can work on that together.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we just talked email and coming up with a list and, you know, what's important and all that while you guys were fixing the issue. So yeah, we just caucused about it, but yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it.
cool. Okay, so we have Mike and Ingrid. Either let myself or Harriet know if you have an obstacle or you need any help.
Okay.
Then we have things surrounding the library and literacy. I would call it literacy. I'm trying to put things into groups, so forgive me if the terms don't make perfect sense.
Does that include the author event?
I think so.
Okay.
Anyone interested in helping coordinating with the library? I know, Ingrid, you've already working with Allison on one piece of it. Is there anyone else who would like to help out on looking at how we can do some more library or literacy based I'm sure Harriet would do this with you, so I'm gonna sign her up to work with you on that.
Excellent.
Okay, so we had a lot of things that were, I don't want to call it art because that really goes across a lot of different ideas, but Summer Streets, Art Beat, I guess we could call that pre-existing or pre-planned events that we could become a part of. Summer Streets and
Art Beat was part of Summer Street.
Networking and visibility.
Say that again, Rashid.
Networking and visibility. Can we give it that title? Visibility, networking and visibility.
Disability networking. Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that title very much. Would you like to be a part of that, Rashid?
Of course. Yeah.
I'm sorry, could you say what the title of that group?
So, Rashid coined the phrase disability networking. So how to get the word out, or also, I guess it would also be how to get the word in, which kind of ties back to certainly what Deborah's talking about, as far as getting some information about who we are, what we do, and then what can we do that you would like to see?
Could I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sort of related to that?
Yep.
Because I thought of it as we were collecting information for people going to the ball game.
Yep.
Is it possible for us to create like a database of emails? Like, so when we have events, we have the flag raising. Right now, we have 98, maybe not 98, but all the emails of people that are coming to the ball game. If we continue to create a database, when say the flag raising comes up, we could just send an email blast to all of those people who would probably be interested in attending.
You know what that?
Or
yeah.
any other kind of event, but is that something we could create and build?
What I had asked for a while ago was on our, the commission's page, was one of those links where you sign up for a feed. So we put something new on our webpage, or we have an event, and as a subscriber, you would get that
So they put the
information.
email there to say, send me stuff.
Yep, because that would also have been a mechanism. So every time we have a new meeting and I send out, we posted, there's a meeting coming up, or we posted there are documents, or we post anything that we communicate, certainly events, it would push everything out to everybody. So
That's a Hawken question.
it's a Hawken. Okay, so but we can still work on pursuing that. Okay.
I'm just thinking that like the flag raising would be nice to get a real crowd there. And I'm sure anybody that's going to the ball game would probably be happy to attend that too, but we have to be able to communicate to them. And I don't know if we can just continue to use people's emails because they signed up for the ball game. You know what I mean?
Are we able to say, would you like to be part of our email list?
That's probably a conversation for Hawken, like the Boston Commission sends out, they have an email newsletter.
Mhm.
They send, I'm gonna say, maybe 1 to 2 emails a month, depending on what's going on. I can try to reach out to see how they manage that list, because you do need to include some way where people can opt out. Because it's consent.
Well, I know when I've attended city meetings, there's sometimes a sheet there if you want to have further information about events. And then they volunteer the information, and maybe if we do some of these events, we have something like that.
Yeah.
And people, whether disabled people have an interest in disabilities, that they could just sign up and we just build the database.
I like that idea very
Yeah.
much. It's a push and a pull, right? We have to push things out, but we have to have a way for people to
We have
pull
to have
things in.
A way to get to
Yeah.
reach people.
Yeah. We still have. Deborah, see your hand is up. Oh, good, we have Parker. Parker, you're a voice right now. Deborah?
It's very easy to collect emails when they're doing the survey. And have that be collected into a database like that. And then to manage mailings through MailChimp, which all have an unsubscribe link included with it.
What is that called, the tool?
MailChimp.
Oh, MailChimp.
Yeah, we can check with Hawken about how to bring all those things, because there's MailChimp, there's Constant Contact. I mean, there has to be a way that the Boston Commission bills those emails. They don't just use their Outlook.
No, they have a sign up here, register link. That's how
Yeah.
I get mine.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like
just
a-
talking about the program that pushes the information out. So there's like a template and you drop a list in. So you don't have to do all blind copying.
So we have lots of events, sort of events about art, music, books. I think we should have sort of just an art group that kind of goes across several different ideas.
Oh, it just overlaps.
You see it, yes. Who would like to make some bracelets besides Nick? And myself and Ingrid? Anybody want to raise their hand if they want to look at sort of like what would be involved if we were to have either, I mean, the Somerville Museum is where I always think is a great place to have some type of a display or a venue or an event. There certainly are other locations in the city. We can also have an exhibit somewhere that's not staffed. It could just be in a place that already exists. And like you go in a coffee shop, I'm saying we're gonna go in a coffee shop, but you could go into a local coffee shop and they have an exhibit of local artists. And the person isn't there, but their art is, and it gets cycled through. So if someone would like to, looking at art projects, like the physical art projects, but also sort of like event space. I think that's another one that might have to be on Adrian and myself, kind of backs to find out locations, but who would like to get, help out with sorting through some art opportunities? I see Mershid.
Yeah, I like to be on that too. I think that's gonna be my last.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got it. So the goal of tonight was really to be able to have time that was just talking about July events. That wasn't mingled in with other monthly business that we need to do. And be able to throw out all the ideas out there and just start the list and then find some groups of people who have time and interest in sort of moving things forward. And then when we meet officially in May, hopefully we have enough information from people that we can share and figure out what the next steps are. So we can come back rather than trying to start this in May to figure out July. Art project, children, education, swings. I think what I need to do in my mind is organize this a little bit better because it's really just written all over the board. And then send out or reach out to individuals to see if you have interest or what types of things you'd like to give me some more information on.
May I ask a question?
Oh, please do.
Because I'm wondering, do you think it's too big a job to get like a disability fair or something where we can get all the different organizations? Do you think that's too big to do in 2 months? I mean, I would love to see something like in Davis Square, where they just have booths and, and we just tell people about all the disability stuff in the city.
Maybe, maybe if we were to speak with the Arts Council, because they run a lot of those large scale events, and ask them specifically. Have you been in contact with Greg?
No, but her name is Grace at the Arts Council.
Greg at the Arts Council, Gregory.
Oh, Greg, yeah, I did talk to, I emailed with him.
Okay.
Okay, I'll reach out and I'll ask him and I'll feel it out and let you know.
Is he?
And I also, when I was a member of the Somerville Art and Culture Ambassador, one of the things I put in, because I was heading the disability input into that plan, culture plan, one of the things that I put forward for Greg and the other team to understand was about having special days like dedicated for people with disabilities as far as art and culture is concerned. So I just want to let you know that at least they have a hint, because I worked with them for over 6 months, and I was into helping them how people with disabilities can be part of the art and culture. And they are one of the moments that were captured into that Somerville Art and Culture Capacity Development Plan.
You know what would be great for the Art Council to consider? Doing an art thing where you have to touch it, so blind people can enjoy art just as much as seeing people. I mean, just having something different that includes everybody would be great.
Yeah.
Sensory art, in a sense.
Yeah,
That's
you know, something with music,
auditory.
something, yeah, auditory, visual, tactile. I'd also like to, with your permission, I would like to reach out to the high school to see about if I can get some support to see what we can do about the kids, working with Best Buddies or something, to see if they'd be interested in partnering with us.
I can't think of a resource to start with. I don't think it would be the superintendent level.
I would find out who the Best Buddy person is, who the adult, I forgot the word, you know, the adult person, and just reach out to them.
Okay, that sounds great. Let us know how that goes and if you need support.
I know
Because
who to ask.
the majority of the students, applicants that were looked at are Best Buddies. It is a
Excellent.
phenomenal program. I wonder what is Best Buddies as an organization doing in July for Pride? We're kind of looking at it from what would we do, but I'm wondering what other examples or organizations are doing. Like, what's the
I'll
Mass
check
Office-
out, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
what's
check
the
it
Mass Office on Disability doing? What is, Department of
Well, I
Justice?
know Tufts Best Buddies did or they're going to do a prom for, Somerville and Medford High School kids.
When is that happening?
You know what, I don't know. I know they either did it or it's gonna happen. The date wasn't there, but I did see it on the internet. It said, I think, April 29th. But again, I don't know if it was last year, 10 years ago. It just popped up when I put it in my Google.
I think that what's really great about tonight is the things that were shared are all interwoven. And they represent different needs of the community, different things about ourselves, but they all really work together very well. They're not. Yep.
So for next year, people can't see me, so I'm just talking. So this year, the Boston Celtics, for the 4th year in a row, held Best Buddies Night at the Celtics on February 6th. So if you do Celtics next year, maybe that's
Was that to recognize the Best Buddies or to?
for participants of Best Buddies in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, which are the state subsidiaries of Best Buddies International. So this happened on January 30th. Hundreds of Best Buddies participants, including Best Buddies founder, chairman, and CEO Anthony Schreiber, attended the game. So they got to shoot hoops with the team before the game, be down there for the national anthem, things like that. And it was also sponsored by Teddy Peanut Butter. Which is
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna have this olive green make sense and share it. I know I touched on ways for us to recruit, not just to educate people about what we do, but to recruit for more hands and more members. Veterans, that was the other piece. I sat down with the Veterans Department and we talked about disability pride and what types of things from the perspective of our veteran population they would like to be engaged with. What trying to get feedback for that group of our community. So she was going to get back to me. Some things that she did talk about were sort of more holistic, like Reiki or meditation, just sort of things that are additive outside of sort of traditional healthcare. She also talked about training, computer training, or having access to technology. So I asked her if she could talk a little bit more about that later, if she had some more information, and share that with me. And when we had talked months before, I had mentioned the Red Sox game, and we all know that's been sold out, and we have a short waiting list still. And so she was thinking that if we had a very small veterans only sporting event, that would be huge for our community of veterans. So that's not something I'm suggesting as part of Disability Pride. I just on the same length of sharing the conversation with the Veterans Department. So she's going to get me some feedback. We didn't talk about parks. I was driving today by what's the park? Not No, not in Somerville, Boston. The Arnold Arboretum is a spectacular place. And it's not easy to get to, but once you get there, it is a wonderful place to be. I don't know if we were to offer a trip for people who'd like to go visit the Arboretum on a Saturday. I don't know. We're like the idea of bringing people somewhere, physically bringing them somewhere that maybe they can't get to on their own for multiple different reasons. I thought the Arboretum was such a great place to be able to walk around and see. And I don't think we could host an event at the Arboretum or tie it into Disability Pride, but it just made me start thinking about things that we could do outdoors.
Could that be something that you collaborated with the Boston Commission on, since it's in Boston?
Sure, I think that's a great idea. Adrian had suggested collaborating with the Boston Disability Commission on something like that. I think that's great.
Maybe inviting Cambridge.
And well, now you're really making it a party.
Sorry.
And adding Cambridge.
Do it.
I have no more walls. I'm gonna have to write on the front of the plastic cloth.
Only have 5 minutes.
Or this very nice table. I
That
do
is a
not
nice
want to
table.
deface the table. Okay. Deborah, I see your hand is up.
I will just say, as somebody with a mobility issue, that the Arboretum is not necessarily as friendly towards that as going to some place like the public gardens, where it's all flat and there's not as much walking.
Oh, hey, I like thank you for sharing that. To me, the Boston Public Gardens always seems small. But I like knowing that it's more accessible. Do you have other suggestions, maybe? Other places that are outdoors?
No, and I think that's part of the problem is, and one of the reasons why the pathway organization is so important is that it's really difficult to find places outdoors that are accessible.
Anyone else have any last comments? Okay, I'm gonna move that we adjourn we adjourn the movie, we adjourn the meeting. May I have a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We are adjourned.
Good job, Holly. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly.
Take this wall home.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Aye.